Welcome to Nash Yarn Fest 2025. This festival was held March 14th and 15th at the Nashville Fairgrounds indoor ADA compliant building. It includes over 90 vendors, food trucks, a stage, space to hang out, and so much more. We've got over 30 booths to share with you, so let's get into it. Hey everyone, my name is Natalie, also known as Nitty Natty, and along with my husband Kent, we love making these festival videos. Actually, we have over 50 yarn store tour videos on this channel as well. And we always do our best to go into a festival and show as much of it to you as possible. Every single time I think, okay, this is the time that we're gonna make it more like a vlog. I'm gonna bring my microphone, I'm gonna share things as we go, and then that just never happens for a variety of reasons. One, it just gets too busy. You're having so much fun. You're chatting with people. We're having to do a lot of stuff kind of behind the scenes to go in and check with the vendor. Hey, can we film right now? Waiting for the booth to be a little more cleared out so we're not bothering anyone who's trying to, actually shop what they're trying to do there. And then the thing I always forget is that there is usually music, copyrighted music, which means we cannot record any audio. So that's why you're seeing me here on your screen, because I'm here to break it all down for you. We have over 30 booths to go to and a ton of other stuff. So we've kind of broken it down in a way that makes sense, kind of group things together in a way that's easy to digest and fun to watch. So we're going to get started with our Tennessee vendors. Go Preds. There are tons of amazing dyers right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's start with Dusk to Dawn Fibers. I love these two ladies. They do an amazing job. They do a lot of Nashville-inspired colorways. They had a special show color, and then they have an entire Nashville collection that represents a ton of iconic Nashville buildings and other spaces. Camellia Fiber Co. is another Nashville favorite. She has so many beautiful tonals and soft colors. Her booth is just a dream to look at. I had no idea that we have two bag vendors right here in Tennessee. The first one is Gussie Bag Co. These bags are sewn by Jay and they're wonderful quality. Then we have No Knits, and I think they used to be called something else because I remember buying one of these bags 15 years ago. Maybe it used to be called the Go Bag or something, but it's this really lightweight waterproof material that is called Ripstop. I think it's sometimes called Ripstop, and they have these really handy snaps so you could clip them onto a bag or maybe even onto your belt loop if you go hiking. We can't forget Miss Babs, of course, located in Eastern Tennessee. I actually don't know exactly where. I should go and look that up. But she did not disappoint with the show colorway this year. Super fun and really great to incorporate the food culture in Nashville. I don't know if I have enough time today to deep dive into how much I love Forbidden Fiber Co. So let's just say that they brought an entire book collection and I am so into it. Of course, they have a fourth wing representation right here in the front, but did you know that they do a monthly book club with a yarn dyed to match? Finally, let's head over to Cumberland Fiber Shed. This represents a larger area within Tennessee and Kentucky of all different farms and places that raise sheep or produce fiber. There were so many different wools to me that I was able to touch and feel, which is really great since I am getting way into spinning. I hope we were able to capture all the Tennessee vendors. We tried really hard to do so, but with 90 plus vendors there, we probably walked around. I mean, we were there from 10 o'clock in the morning, earlier than 10 o'clock, to after 5 o'clock. We probably walked that show floor like at least 10 times, and every time I would see somebody new. So if we forgot you, I'm so sorry. Let me know, and I would love to shout you out on Instagram. Now, there are 2 more Tennessee booths that we have not gotten to yet because they are local yarn stores, and I wanted to feature them separately. Located just south of Nashville, I think like 15 minutes from the fairgrounds where Nash Yarn Fest was held, is LYS Yarns. They brought with them 4 fabulous yarns: Junction Fiber Co., Mustache Yarn, North Bay Fibers, and Twisted Ambitions. I'm particularly proud of this booth because Kent and I did help set it up, so if you thought it looked good, then that was us. If you didn't think it looked good, then it was not us. The other fun thing that they have that's exclusive to LYS are these Maddie minders. They are super cool, and Maddie, who is a friend and a regular customer of LYS, her and her husband created these with a 3D printer. Then we have House of Yarn. They are located in West Nashville. This is my geographical reference, so don't quote me on this one. They brought with them so many fun Nashville things. They had 2 amazing dyers that are located here: Old Rusted Chair and Modus Operandi. They also had tons of fun little accessories like this cowboy hat and cowboy boot in stoppers that were adorable. And they had some kits put together of these hats that said Nash on them. Let's step away from talking about the booths for a moment and let's talk more about the festival itself. So Nash Yarn Fest was put on by Modern Daily Knitting, which is run by 2 women, Ann Shane and Kay Gardner. My first introduction to them was, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago when I first started knitting. I got one of their books and I knit these ball band dishcloths, which I still have to this day. And I don't use them as dishcloths. I actually use them as like microwave pads for plates and bowls. So I will put them underneath a bowl, put it in the microwave, and then I'm able to take that hot bowl out of the microwave. All that to say, they've been in the industry for a while, but I don't know how many events they've done. I think this is the first fiber festival, and it really didn't feel like it was the first year for this fiber festival. It was really, really well run. Now, all throughout the day, there were events going on this big stage that they had. The stage was sponsored by Delacue and Madeline Tosh. We'll come back to them in just a moment. And then there was a huge seating area, tons and tons of chairs, and that was called The Lounge and was sponsored by Knit Companion. We'll also come back to them in just a second, but I want to talk about what was happening on the stage. So interspersed throughout the day, there were musicians. So you know Nashville is known for live music, which is so much fun. So there was live music playing on the Friday night event. I'll also talk about that in just a minute. There was music going the entire time and it was lovely and wonderful. On Saturday, it was kind of going between music and then maybe a talk or like a presentation, back and forth the whole day. I am kicking myself for not taking with me one of the brochures that were handed out when you came into the festival. It had it was giant. It was like this big. I don't even know if I took a video of it, but one of the reasons I didn't take it with me is because it was so big. I actually was like, I'm going to come back and get one later because it's too big to walk around with. And I set it back in the pile so other people could use it. And then I never went back and got it. And I tried to find the info on the website and I just couldn't find it. But there was a full day of stuff going on that stage. Speakers from the different sponsors, Go Sadie, I think Knit Companion. I saw Laura of Jimmy Bean's Wool get up there. I mean, there was so much going on. There was a fashion show from Modern Daily Knitting. I think we got some clips of that. But anyway, there was entertainment. There was entertainment. There was spaces to sit. I did not sit down. Kent and I did not sit down the entire day. We were chatting and filming the entire day long, which is why I'm still kind of recovering today. But it was a really fun space for everyone. So with that, why don't we head into the Atlas and Madeline Tosh booth? Modern Daily Knitting has created this wonderful yarn called Atlas, and they work together with Madeline Tosh, who then dyed the yarn. So this was their collection that they did together. It's really lovely, really beautiful, and quite affordable. Next, let's head over to Della Q. It was really great to see our friends from Della Q / Jimmy Beans again. We got to see them in Reno last year. They make the coolest bags, and they brought with them a ton of their snap bags. They even had some special ones for the festival that had the adorable Nash Yarn Fest logo on it. Knit Companion had a super cool booth set up. They had these big old iPads that you could go up and you could like kind of get a tour of Knit Companion or ask your questions. And then they were really sweet to me. Actually, they gave me a bunch of pins. So like I went over there and they said, do you want to enter a drawing to win a free iPad? And I said, no, because I already have an iPad. And they were like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I don't need an iPad. Like, I already have one. And so they're like, here, you can have a pin. Or I said, I already have Knit Companion too. And they said, okay, here, you can have a pin. And they gave me this one that says, I made it with Knit Companion. Hold on, let me get it out. It looks like this. It's really cute. And then I can't remember what else we said, but there was some other like banter back and forth. And they're like, here, have this pin too. So then I got this one. And then again, I can't remember. Something else was said and they're like, okay, you can have this one too. So I got all these Knit Companion pins. I don't know, that made me laugh a lot. But if you ever see the Knit Companion booth at a festival that you were at, go over to them. They're really great people. This is Belle, by the way, one of my brother's dogs. We're here at their house watching their dogs this week. So it's been nice to have the two of the pups in here. The other one was inclined to talk, and so he had to leave the room. I think now's a perfect time to talk about the opening night party, which was sponsored by Go Sadie. And Go Sadie did come up and talk, but I missed all of it, so I'm gonna be the worst person to explain to you what Go Sadie is. We will link them so you can check them out below. So the opening night party happened on Friday night. Nash Yarn Fest, I would say like the main event was the Saturday event from 10 to 5. The marketplace was open all day long, but you could, if you wanted to shop early or maybe if Saturday didn't work for you, there was an opportunity to go to the opening night party. It was a $75 ticket versus a $25 ticket for Saturday and a 3-hour shopping window versus an all-day shopping window. However, you got lots of cool perks. So first of all, Arne and Carlos, who are major designers of color work and just so many amazing things. I think they're from Norway. They came up and they talked on Friday night. It was really delightful to hear them speak. This was my first time getting to hear them speak. They're really funny. They walked us through kind of like the timeline of how they started design and fashion and then getting into knitting. They showed us like the amazing house that they have out in the woods on like a river. It was really, really cool. So that was like a big portion of it, worth it just for that. You also got 2 drink tickets included. So they gave you a little, 2 little tickets when you walked in and a wristband. They checked our IDs and everything. And you were able to go and get 2 beverages. They could be alcoholic beverages or something else. The line did stay pretty long all night long. So my group that I was walking around with, we ended up just skipping that part, but that was not a problem for me. The other thing, of course, is that you got access to all of the vendors early. There were lots of show colorways that did end up selling out early on Saturday morning. So going on Friday night was a great way to get access to all of those special things and pretty much be guaranteed that you would be able to shop. There was also there were a lot fewer people there, which made the shopping really enjoyable too. The other thing is we got this bag. I couldn't tell though. I think they were handing these out on Saturday too. But I had already got one. So we got a bag, which was really cute. So this may have been Friday and Saturday. Not 100% sure on that one, but I got mine on Friday night. So the Friday night event, it was from 6 to 9 p.m. It was really wonderful. I would definitely do it again. Let's head back into shopping with some yarn trucks. There were 3 yarn trucks at this event. So let's start with Yarnbirds, as that was the first one that you saw when you walked in. Now, Yarnbirds is out of Ohio. We actually visited them in Columbus and got to go into their more like brick and mortar stationary part of their yarn store in Columbus. So if you are in the Columbus area, you get to go visit them at any time, but they are always traveling around going to shows. Next to them was a new to me yarn truck. I think this one was actually a bus at one point because it has that big door at the very back that opens up. This is the Traveling Yarn Yogi. So the bus's name is Pearl, P-U-R-L, and the driver's name is Angie. Angie is really sweet, and I had to ask her, like, are you a yogi? Like, do you do yoga? And she does. She teaches chair yoga for knitters and crocheters. Next, if we head all the way across to the other side of the venue, you will see Frogget Yarns. They have a spanking brand new trailer that is awesome. This one is really great because they actually made it so they can open the back and you can get up into their truck without using any stairs. So you can, if you have any kind of chair, you're able to get up into their truck and shop around. It's quite spacious inside for being a yarn truck. And then of course they have all of their own amazing hand-dyed yarns. Now I want to talk about Frogget with these next 2 booths because the 3 of them together, they've each individually created colorways that all go to benefit the same place. Let's start with Haynes House Yarns. Now the dyer Terry, her sister Wanda, is a lymphoma survivor. So they created this colorway called And We Thrive. Together with Frogget Yarns and Cesium Yarns, a portion of the sales from all of these yarns go to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. You can see Cesium Yarns fundraiser colorway here. They also had a show colorway that was equally fun and beautiful. You may be wondering at this point, like, hey, Natalie, did you purchase anything at all? I really didn't do too much shopping, but the first thing that I did get was some merch because this Nash Yarn Fest logo is way too cute. So I got a t-shirt. It has the logo here on the back, and then on the front it says, "Hello, my name is." And they had this kind of like font and little name tag style on a lot of things. It was really, really cute. They even had name tags for everyone to wear, which was super nice. Now they had a really cute hat as well that I kind of wish I could have gotten. I think it said knitter, but those sold out, I think on Friday. Like they were just gone. The other cool thing they had is a poster made up for the Yarn Fest, which is kind of fun because it's like, events do posters, but I think of posters a lot as like a music thing. So just tying in the Nashville-ness of it all, I think was a really cool component. I think it's a good time to take a break, so let's head out and check out the food trucks. Now let's get into some semi-local vendors that are in the surrounding states. 65 South is in Alabama, and they make a ton of beautiful bags. If you visit them in Alabama, they have a fabric store, and the owner has even gotten into recovering old upholstered chairs and turning them into bags as well. Next, we have Lola Bean out of Georgia. Adela brought in all of her usual amazing and fun colors. She was also featuring another dyer in her booth, a friend who is one of the creators of Radical Threads. Radical Threads is really amazing. It's a magazine that features exclusively makers of color. Now we're headed north to Laughing Cat Fibers out of Kentucky. Their yarn is inspired by art and books, and it was really handy because there was a little tiny representation of the inspiration on the tag. And last up for our semi-local is Paper Crane Yarns. We were lucky to get to visit them in Alabama early last year. Ashley created this beautiful show colorway that we're gonna have to put in here as a photo because it completely sold out early on Saturday. Sadly, while Ashley and her husband were at Nash Yarn Fest, a tornado went through their town in Clara, Alabama, and did do some damage to their storefront there. So we're keeping an eye out on everything that we can do to support Paper Crane as they are starting to, clean up and fix the damages that are done to the store. But one thing you can always do to support a local yarn store is to shop with them online. We're including every single vendor's website down below, so maybe you can catch one of those show colorways afterwards if there's some left. But I just wanted to especially share with you about Paper Crane in case you see anything beautiful that you want to shop for. That will be available and will be a really great thing to support them and hold them up through all of this. I'm calling this section Interesting Fibers. And I know interesting is not always said in a positive way, but I mean it in a positive way because these next two booths are so intriguing to me because they are this farm to fiber sort of thing, and they're in different areas, and I don't know, I just find learning about all of the different wools to be really fascinating. First up, we have Purveyor of Fine Yarns. They are out of Monroe, Wisconsin. Kim works with local farmers and will also travel to different farms to kind of rescue these fleeces and turn them into beautiful yarns. She had this really cool marled fiber, and I actually ended up buying some. I'm hoping I can spin it up into a t-shirt at some point. Spin it and then knit it. Next up is Why Not Fibers, and they are out of Traverse City, Michigan. The first time we saw them was in Rhinebeck at one of the side events. I think it was Indie Untangled, but they are so knowledgeable about all the different sheep breeds and work with the mills to create these really incredible bases. Then it's all hand dyed in small batches and labeled by year like a fine wine. let's take another break in our shopping to go to one of the other cool things that was included in this year's Nash Yarn Fest, the photo booth. This is not just any ordinary photo booth. This is a professional photographer, Gail Zucker, who has photographed many different designs for patterns and books and for modern daily knitting. You could book a time slot, $50 for 5 minutes, and she took a bajillion photos in that time. It was really cool and really fun to do, and she also gave me lots of tips on posing, which was really handy and something I'm going to take beyond just that day. After the photos were done, you would sit down with a second person, I think it was Gail's assistant, and you would get to go through all of the photos that were taken and select your favorite ones. So now I'm at the point where I just wait for a few weeks. At the final photo that they took, they're going to edit it and highlight it and stuff, and then I get it just for me. Let's get back into the shopping. We have some friends that we love to visit and see, and some new booths as well. First up is our friend Rick of Whimsy Stitches out of Louisiana. He had a beautiful show colorway and these mini skein packs to represent Nashville. One thing that we didn't capture were his bags, but he makes some incredible project bags. We'll head over to Leading Men Fiber Arts next. They are out of Illinois. Something I've always loved about Leading Men Fiber Arts is all the beautiful tonals that they do, and they also have lots of different ways you can buy your skeins, from bigger than 100 grams to 50 grams to mini skeins and everything else. Heading a little further away from Tennessee, we're gonna go to the Seismic Yarns and Teal Torch Knits booth. Seismic Yarns is out of California and has these super cool blacklight reactive yarns. She also had a really pretty show colorway called White Limousine that is based off a Dolly Parton inspired restaurant here in Nashville. Seismic Yarns and Teal Torch Knits are perfect booth mates because their colors just play off of each other beautifully. Teal Torch Knits is out of Oregon and has so many lovely colors. You know, we had to stop by and see our friends at A Chick That Knits. Their assigned pooling yarn is super popular, and like half of it was gone midway through the day. They also have this really cool sequin yarn that is new for them, and even though it has sequins all over it, it actually doesn't feel rough at all. I think this is the first time that we've captured Keenan hand-dyed yarn at an event. We did see them when we visited a store in South Dakota, but it was really fun to see their bright and colorful booth. Oh, and they're out of Michigan. Another new one for us is Un Besito Fiber. Un Besito means a little kiss, and there's a really sweet story behind the name of this yarn company, but I'll let you head to the website to read that. Another super colorful booth is Desert Panda Fiber Arts out of Nevada. What first drew me into this booth was that they were spinning on this giant e-wheel, and then I saw all the beautiful fiber that took up like half the booth. The new ones just keep on coming because next we're headed to Dye Mad Yarns. I don't think we've ever seen them in a show, but we did see them at a yarn store in Ohio. We'll then head to Harvest Hill Acres. They are a CVM Rommeldale farm in southeastern Minnesota. I would have included this in my interesting yarns section, except that I was doing a meet and greet when Kent went and filmed this booth, so I didn't get to hear the entire story. I'll be looking out for them at the next show. We've got 2 New York vendors next. The first is Whole Knit and Caboodle. The dyer is an incredible watercolorist and actually made these paintings, which then went on the label and inspired the color collection for Nashville. Lily Loops is out of New York City, and this booth is so bright and so fun. Right next door to Lily Loops is Ex Libris, and they did a really funny picture on Instagram of their 2 booths side by side because they're total opposites. Ex Libris means from the library, and Rita, the dyer, used to be a librarian. We've included a lot of yarn in these last few booths, so let's do some accessories. I know you've heard of Katrinkles. They are out of Rhode Island, and Katie makes all these amazing wooden accessories for your knitting and crochet. She had a wooden boot cutter for the show and also a set of stitch markers, but we have to put a photo in here because they completely sold out by the time we went to film. I even got this really cool nitty knotty that can be broken down, which will be perfect for the van. I show more of it on my podcast this week. And the last booth we're gonna visit today is our friend Shayla of Black Pearl Magic. You know them for their super cute vinyl bags. Shayla's always coming up with new and exciting styles to try. I thought we'd close out with just some overall thoughts and vibes on the festival as a whole. So first of all, let's talk about the price. So I did already talk about Friday. Let's talk about Saturday specifically because that's what I would consider to be the main event. So I paid $25 for an all-day ticket. That got me access to be there from 10 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night. You got to shop all day. You got access to those 90 vendors. You also had tons of those food trucks to go to. There was music, there was entertainment, there was space to hang out. You did need to pay for parking if you parked in that main lot. I think it was $10, so that wasn't really a big deal. I know a lot of people Ubered or parked somewhere else. Also, just a note for this, it was raining really, really hard that day, and the venue has this massive overhang, and so we were able to line up outside of the rain. I don't know. I just thought I would note that because that was really, really nice. I think it would have made it pretty miserable to have to stand outside in the rain. So yeah, all in all, I would say the ticket price was so worth it. I've paid more than $25 for a 2-hour time slot before. So for me, this felt like I got my money's worth tenfold. I think that it was a really well-run event. You could not tell it was the first year. Everything was very clear to find, very easy to navigate. The only thing I had a hard time was like finding the venue on the first day. But once I knew where it was very easy to access. I think that the planning was great. I think the entertainment was great. Also, I didn't feel like it was too busy. I would say it was busier in the morning. Of course, I think more people try to come in right away to, get access to those special things like the show colorway and stuff. But as the day went on, it got even less crowded. Even when it was crowded, it was nowhere near as crowded as other events that I have been to where you're literally like can't get into a booth. There was enough space. There were enough vendors that if something was super busy, you could be like, I'll just come back and like go to an area that wasn't that busy. You didn't have traffic jams like where you really couldn't get by. I mean, it just, to me personally, and I know this is a personal comfort thing, I did not have an issue with how crowded it was. Something that I thought was really cool was I met people from all over. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. This is kind of, you know, a big deal for Nashville. People felt really excited and really proud to have a fiber festival like in the heart of downtown, and people traveled for it. It wasn't just local people. I met a ton of people from Michigan for whatever reason. I feel like every other person I met that was from out of state was from Michigan. People came from surrounding states. A lot of people came from the Northeast. People traveled, like vendors traveled from the West Coast. I mean, it was just really cool to see that the festival itself was significant enough to have that draw. And that makes me really hopeful for how it's going to look next year. I'm excited to see if they are coming back, if they're planning to do it in the same space, if they're doing the same format. I've seen some requests that people are asking for it to be 2 full days. It was kind of 2 days this year, you know, the Friday 3-hour evening event and then the Saturday full day, but maybe a 2-day full event would be really great. Maybe that would benefit people who are coming to attend it, because if they can't make it one weekend day, maybe they could make it the other, especially with the weather this year. Like the weather was so rainy on Saturday. Maybe it would have drawn a different crowd on Sunday. But maybe for the vendors too, you know, you do all that work to set up. Maybe it would be great to have 2 days. I have to say, I didn't mind that it was 1 day because I was so tired. I think I'm getting old, guys. I need to wear better shoes or something and maybe sit down and take a break, because Kit and I both on Sunday were like, why are we so wiped? We didn't even vend. We were just there. Anyway, all in all, 11 out of 10. If you're able to come next year, should they have it, I highly recommend it. Thank you so much to Nash Fiber Fest for allowing us to vend. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Allowing us to film. And thank you to all of the vendors that we came up to and letting us come into your booths and share what you have with everyone here. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you at the next festival in Maryland.